You are a parent-to-be in 1550 BCE. There are no sterile clinics, no ultrasound wands, and certainly no gender reveal cakes or balloons. There's only the crushing weight of dynastic pressure. You need an heir to inherit your 3 goats and your debt. You stare at the pregnant belly in the flickering candlelight, terrified. Is it a boy who can wield a plow, or a girl who will require a dowry you cannot afford? The uncertainty is a physical weight, a knot in your chest, tighter than a hangman's noose. You are desperate for a glimpse of the future. You would do anything, absolutely anything, to know. Even if anything involves forcing your wife to eat up the testicles of a male goat just so you can give birth to a boy. We like to think of ourselves as a species of logic. We built pyramids, we charted the stars, and we invented the spreadsheet. But when it comes to the mystery of creation, humanity has historically displayed the intellectual rigor of a panicked squirrel. Today, we discuss the gender reveal. You likely know it as a modern ritual involving blue confetti and occasional unintentional arson. But the desire to peek behind the biological curtain is ancient. Humanity thought they could outsmart nature with nothing but superstition, grains, and an utter lack of shame. They believed they were decoding the cosmos. In reality, they were mostly just making a mess. Let us travel back to 1550 BCE, to the golden sands of ancient Egypt. The Egyptians were brilliant. They built monuments that defy time. However, their understanding of biology was, let's call it, imaginative. They believed that bodily fluids contained a mystical life force, a sort of magical Wi-Fi signal that could interact with plants. Now, let me shock you. According to the Ebers Papyrus, essentially the WebMD of the Bronze Age, the first gender reveal did not involve a balloon pop. It involved 2 bags, one of barley, one of emmer wheat. The pregnant mother was instructed to urinate on both bags daily. What a hassle. If the barley sprouted first, hooray, it's a boy. If the wheat sprouted, a girl. If neither sprouted, you weren't pregnant, you were likely just bloated from too much bread. It was effectively a urinalysis conducted by a salad. Meanwhile, if we look to the East, specifically ancient China and India, they found the idea of inspecting bodily fluids to be a bit unimpressive. It was not mystical enough. Why look at a bag of grain when you can blame the entire galaxy? They turned their eyes to the heavens. In China, the methodology was less medical exam and more cosmic accountancy. They developed the gender prediction chart, a spreadsheet drafted centuries before Microsoft Excel made our lives miserable. The process treated the conception of a human child exactly like a tax audit. You didn't need a doctor, you needed a bureaucrat. You had to cross-reference the mother's lunar age with the lunar month of conception because apparently regular age wasn't complicated enough. Connect the dots, follow the grid, and voila, the chart dictates your destiny. In India, they took it a step further with the Punsavana ritual. Here, the logic was that the baby's sex wasn't just biology, it was a negotiation with the universe. Astrologers would furiously scribble over star charts, analyzing planetary alignments and karmic debt. They believed a soul chose its body based on cosmic timing. Essentially, they thought your gender was determined by whether the direction of Mars was moving in reverse or if Jupiter was just having a bad day. But perhaps you prefer something less cosmic. Let's move to the ancient Greeks. We call them the fathers of logic, the architects of Western thought, the inventors of geometry. Yet when it came to the womb, their reasoning had the structural integrity of a soup sandwich. They operated on the heat and balance theory. To the Greeks, the body wasn't a biological masterpiece, it was essentially just a space heater made of meat. Their diagnostic method was essentially a traffic report. They watched the belly. Did the baby kick on the right side? Hooray, it's a boy, because the right side is associated with strength, the sun, and moral rectitude. Did it kick on the left? Pity, it's a girl, because the left is associated with coldness, darkness, and, if we're being honest, disappointment to the patriarchy. Yeah, don't forget about the dowry. The underlying logic was purely thermal. They called the male a hot seed, it boiled up a male, while the female is a cool seed because it congealed into a female. To the Greeks, a woman was essentially just a man who hadn't been cooked long enough. I'm still quite confused about this logic. Please leave a comment if you understand it. Also, subscribe while you're at it. While the Egyptians were playing with agriculture and the Greeks were obsessing over thermodynamics, the medieval mind decided the best way to divine the future was to harass a napping woman. Their method? The Great Salt Test. The procedure was rigorously scientific. Wait until the pregnant mother falls asleep, exhausted no doubt from carrying the next generation of peasants, and then stealthily sprinkle salt onto her head. Yes, you heard me correctly. The cutting edge of European diagnostics was a prank you might pull at a slumber party. The physician, or more likely the village busybody, would then wait. When the poor woman inevitably woke up, likely scratching her scalp and wondering why her pillow tasted like a pretzel, they would then listen for her first word. Did she instinctively mutter a man's name, Peter, John, or did she say something like, "Get off me, Richard"? Well, congratulations, it's a boy. Did she utter a woman's name? Then it's a girl. Did she say, "What are you doing in my room"? Inconclusive. Now I begin to wonder, what if the woman pretends to sleep and then purposely says Thomas instead of Alice when she wakes? Does that count? Well, tell me in the comments. They also believed cravings held the key. If she craved sweets, it's a girl. If she craved salty foods, it's a boy. They essentially reduced the complexity of human genetics to a snack preference. Now, if you thought urinating on barley, being salted, or watching the belly for movement was undignified, I'm afraid we must now discuss the menu. Throughout history, from the folkloric fringes of Europe to the desperate households of the East, there existed a belief in sympathetic magic. The logic was brutally simple. Like produces like. If you wanted a strong child, you ate a strong animal. If you wanted a robust child, you ate a robust animal. If you wanted a child with, let's call it specific equipment, well, you can see where this is going. The logic was grim. Parents desperate for a son were often advised to consume the testicles of a male animal, usually a rabbit, a rooster, or a boar, prior to or during pregnancy. The belief was that by digesting the essence of maleness, you would force the fetus to follow suit. The humor, it was the ultimate literal interpretation of "you are what you eat." Imagine the dinner conversation. "Darling, pass the potatoes," and "Oh, are you finishing that rabbit gonad?" "No? I really think we should, just to be safe." It was a biological pyramid scheme. You were essentially trying to bribe your unborn child's DNA with organ meat. It's like you telling your unborn child, "Hey pal, here's a rooster's testicle. Take the hint, would you? Come out with something similar." The flaws, naturally, is that it gives you bad breath and a very confused rabbit. So, did any of this work? Surprisingly, yes, about 50% of the time, because that is how probability works. You could have flipped a coin, consulted a chicken's entrails, or asked the village idiot, and you would have had the same statistical success rate as the royal physician. The flaw, of course, is that barley doesn't know what a chromosome is, and the moon doesn't care about your lineage. The human digestive system is not a reproductive 3D printer. Your stomach acid destroys the DNA of whatever you eat. Eating a rabbit's testicle does not give you a son. But these rituals weren't really about accuracy. They were about control. The ancient world was a terrifying place. Childbirth was dangerous. The future was a black box. These rituals were humanity's way of trying to grab the steering wheel of a car that was driving itself. We just wanted to feel like we weren't helpless. If you wish to continue exploring the catastrophic blunders of human confidence, you know what to do. The subscribe button is down there. It requires no urination to activate, merely a click. And tell me in the comments, if you had to choose between the salt test, barley test, or eating a raccoon's balls, which indignity would you suffer for the sake of knowing the future? And if you're a lover of music, please do well to enjoy the music playing in the background. Until next time, my fellow student of chaos.